operating around 3,500 emission friendly, what we call, because we have started our CNG installed fleets since 2018. Right. We have introduced also our inductions of hybrids fleets, right, which also, that's the two types that we think can be faster in reducing the emissions. But also we started our EVs back in 2019. First of all, because simple mathematics, it's not reductions, it's the zero emissions. Second, it's what we think as the technology for the future on the zero emissions. So we started and we learned that although it was an expensive research and development since 2019, we are now believe that the research that we did was correct, because now we are seeing the EVs are more affordable, and we know how to operate more efficiently, like Joseph is doing. We are adding not only our electric fleets for taxis, but also for rental cars, and together with Indica Group, we are providing the electric bus, full electric bus for the BRT in Medan, and Nusantara, of course. So two cities that we fully operating our electric bus. Agree with Pak Yosef, of course, this is the way to go in the future. The more we introduce, the more knowledge and experience that we know how to operate the electric vehicles by, for cars and for buses. I think so. That's, although it's not always affordable for every market, but we believe that, we can be the catalyst to introduce these fleets. I think now we are already, for EV fleets only, we are closer to 5% of our fleets now. I think in the near futures, EVs will go lower and lower, combustions will go higher and higher, either, in a few years it will come to a flipping point. That is, it's a more feasible, more doable on the electric taxis, full electric taxis. So that will definitely faster to adopt more fleets in the taxis.
Right. Thank you, Pak Andre. So I think similar view that at the end will be probably cheaper, and I think that's the way to go. And Blue Sky initiative, very interesting. So it's not green, it's blue, but Blue Sky. Now, if I may go back to a little bit to Pak Purbaya a little bit, Pak. So we talk a little bit about green, and of course, for you, it's an electric mobility. It's green by itself, right? But I want to understand your point of view from investment standpoint, right? So, with all these greener public transport or initiatives, right? Is it easier to attract more investment, and whether, let's say, PPP scheme is actually more attractive for the investors? And if not, you probably can also share what are the other things that investors are looking for if they were to invest in public transport, not only the transportation but also TODs, etc.
Thank you. The answer is yes. That when it comes to the sector that we are in, first, I think when we talk about electric mobility, the first that comes to mind is EV, right? But beyond that, there's quite a bit of infrastructures development that also comes with the EV, and with all of that would be the solutioning part as well, right? And therefore, it's a longer term projects in general, and it does involve additional capex as well, which means that collaborations through any means of financing for the projects would be something that we certainly look forward to it. And I think specifically in Indonesia, right, where interest rates has been historically been higher than any other countries, the challenge of actually finding that returns for investors continues to be something that we don't necessarily have as Ben said, a magic formula for it, right? And the returns will come from, you know, paying your interest and paying your debt, right? And then that becomes your return. So in the environment where interest rates are high, we need to be extra careful in terms of how we actually look at the economics of the projects and everything else. And thus the collaborations with multilateral agencies and how we can actually package it together, in also addition to making sure that we have the right tenure for the projects and all of that, is something that is very, very important for us to look at as well. That's for the domestic investors. For international investors, then they also need to factor in the depreciation as well of rupiah, because they want to go back and have their returns to be translated into their own original currencies, you know, euro, the yuan, or dollars, or whatever it is, right? So that in itself also means that there is this additional returns expected in order to cover for that depreciation as well, right? So it's definitely, you know, today in my earlier remarks I mentioned about technology, and I think in this case quite a bit of collaborations that we need to do amongst many different stakeholders, right? I do think given where we are today, we have all the dots, right, to make it happen, but it's just a question of how then to connect those dots, which at times would be difficult in the context of Indonesia, but it can be done, right? So, and as I mentioned to you earlier, I think given our experience at SMI, where we feel that all the electric mobility projects that we have are scalable and sustainable, and in a way we've also proven that, right? So we have about 100 buses now running around in Jakarta and in Medan. Again, this is in collaboration with Bluebird and also with Pak Yosef from Transjakarta, right? So this collaboration is very important. And on the back of that also, then there are charging stations that we built privately for all of these buses, plus the public charging stations that we have as well, right? And then on top of it, also the electric two-wheeler business, how we can convert that into not just B2C business, but also B2B, working with ride-hailing companies and all of that, which we have done and have proven to be successful as well.
Thank you, Baru. I really like the analogy that we know the dots, but we just need to connect the dots, because it's not easy, but then if we work together, collaborate one to each other, different roles, we can do it. Right, before I go back to Buweni and Ben, I just wanted to give it to the floor now. I know there are a lot of questions in your mind. Not every day we have this all 5 esteemed speaker in front of us. So I'll probably just invite questions from the floor, if anyone. Okay. Pak Khalid, yes. Go ahead, Pak Khalid.
Thank you, Pak Ferry. My name is Khalid. I'm from Arab Indonesia, and I have a question for Ben. Ben, by the way, we are working on your Masteron project as the program management consultant, so thank you for the opportunity. You raised a very good point about coordination is needed between the national government and the local government. So just from your perspective, how are you overcoming, or how the World Bank is overcoming that particular issue?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no, indeed, that's not easy, because there can be many, that's I've seen over many years, everywhere, there's always the political disconnect between the capital and the national government. I don't want to go into details here in Jakarta, but I work in the Philippines, for instance, where there's always elections every 2-3 years, and there's a switch from a governor or mayor, and the national government is also different, and then we start they start competing with each other who gets credit for public transport, for instance. Because everybody wants to be seen as an advocate for good services. So that's not easy. But what we need to do is align the interest to bring together the national government with the local governments, that the goals are the same, the instruments are the same, and the policies are the same. So that you don't get into this kind of who gets credit for what. And that's a big problem in urban areas. And that can work. We have seen great examples of how it can work. But for that to happen, for that to achieve, you need to have a good, well thought through kind of program. Here in Jakarta, I saw the goal for 2030 is public transport 27%, and it's now 12%. 2030 is not far away. That's only 5 years away. And that's an ambition. I admire the ambition, but you need to pull all the stops, whatever. You need to do everything in your power to make that happen. And of course, Jakarta is a bit richer than other cities in Indonesia, so it can do a lot by itself. Other cities cannot do that. So I'm really looking forward to work with Jakarta how this can be pulled off. This goal from 12% to 27% in 5 years' time. But you need to have a very comprehensive agenda, and all the measures and the interventions need to be in place. Not just more capacity, but also making sure that the different parts can work together. And electric mobility, the e-buses can be kind of game changer in that sense. They can lift the whole game for public transport, make public transport more attractive, more reliable, better services, and at the same time, more services. And then that can be a kind of game changer for the whole of Jakarta, and also for the rest of Indonesia, obviously.
Thank you, Ben. All right, maybe, all right. I think gentleman over there, after that, Bapak over there.
Hello everyone, my name is Bowo from Spora EV. Yeah, if we're talking about the sustainability infrastructure, we cannot also forget about the battery that connected to the infrastructure. I wonder if there are any initiative that already being done to address how the second life battery is going to go in your business.
All right, second life battery. So maybe just the next question, and then we can answer in one go. Go ahead, Pak.
Thank you very much. My name is Fakri Karim. I'm from Clean Air Fund. Really good to see where private sector start moving toward this, and also both national and international. And then a very interesting statement that we need collaboration from national and local government. But in fact, it also need collaboration from a good collaboration between national and private. I mean, the government who manages the public finance and the private will manage private finance. So the question is, from the private sector, what do you need from the government who managing private public finance to help you to be able to move faster with this? We understand all of these businesses are risky business right now. What kind of risk that the government should take to allow Bluebird to go faster or Jakarta Bus to go faster to achieve your goals? Because policy itself is good, but it's not enough. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Very good question. So first is about the second life battery. Probably Pak Daud or Pak Purbaya, Pak Andre. The first one, yang second life battery.
Yeah, well, I think in our research about the second life of battery, there are two options, right? Recycle or repurpose. But for Bluebird now, we are still keeping our battery in stock because the volume is not big enough for any recycling company, battery recycling companies to collect. But I think not far from now, as we see the EV industries are growing, as well as this sub-industries, which is the recycling battery or repurposing the life cycle of battery will be exist or potentially maybe Pak Purbaya knows is already preparing to repurpose all the batteries. But I think that's based on our research. That's the two options that we could do with the used battery.
Maybe just to add what Pak Andre statement, yeah. I think the story about the batteries, what we do with it, is not yet sort of fully proven, given the age of the sectors overall. But as Pak Andre said, naturally, you don't recycle batteries immediately. It takes money to do that, and also there are all kinds of regulations that come with it in terms of what that recycled materials would be categorized as. It could be categorized as waste, in which case then there's some regulations among countries as to how you transport waste, right? But before we go to that, now that BESS, battery energy storage, is also a big area now. So naturally, from mobility, it becomes a stationary product, in which case battery storage would be a good sort of industry to make these batteries to be repurposed into. So, but that's a very good question, actually, because I think there's still quite a bit of question marks as to what needs to be done, especially if we don't have scale. If we have scale, okay, maybe there's something to be done. If we don't, then what are we going to do with it?
Thank you. Okay, please go ahead.
Adding to what Pa Andre was saying, I think I should connect the questions from both of you. Number one, I agree with you that policy is good, but policy is not enough. But everything starts from the policy. For example, about the second life battery. As long as there are no policy preventing us from disposing the battery, then the nature of people is throw away things that cannot be used anymore. So it should start from the policy first. The government should issue a policy that prevents people or businesses not to throw away used battery, to use the battery as to give second life to the battery. Either it is to reuse it or recycle it. And I'm sure when the policy is issued, well, businesses will go and take advantage of the policy, and it should grow itself. I hear now that there are some startups trying to build a company that's going to recycle and reuse some batteries. 2 weeks ago, I just got back from Jeju Island. Jeju Island has the factory that recycles and reuses the battery with the state of health still above 60%. They can use it and recycle if they're under 60%. So everything comes and starts from the policy first. And the second one is, what can make Jakarta faster to convert the buses into electric vehicle? Previously, converting to electric buses, you should put your hand deeper to get more money to buy electric bus. But now, we discovered that by owning an electric bus, you can get more efficiency. So the question now is, how quick am I allowed to convert to e-buses? Because the more I convert my buses, the more I get efficiency. And the government will have to disburse less and less subsidy if you allow me to convert into EV. But yes, there is one policy that should be issued, and that can endorse me to go faster to convert into EV. For example, this is a bit technical, but I can share about the medium bus. The big bus, we are allowed to operate a bus with 16 tons of gross vehicle weight, and that's not a big problem for big bus. But for the medium bus, we are only allowed to make and manufacture a bus that is less than 8 tons. It is a bit of a mission impossible. for a medium bus manufacturer. So the policy should be modified. And we learn from other countries in the world that if you make that rule, you should exclude the battery from the bus. You should not count the weight of the battery. So I think the government of Indonesia should also learn from the government from other country if we want to speed up this conversion process into electric vehicle.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so sorry, I probably still have questions, but time is up now. So I would like to thank the esteemed speakers today. So I think there are a lot of insights that we get, how to basically achieve, convenience, safety, green, and affordability for public transport, how to make it seamless across different moda, how to make it green with the, rectifications, and then how to, finance, the public transport, even though it's not easy, there's no golden bullets, but then if we can connect the dots and collaborate with each other, I think we probably can make it something out of that. So thank you so much, and I'll probably give it back to the MCs for the next one.
Thank you very much. I would like to invite the moderator and panelists to stay on stage for the group photo. Once again, I would like to invite the moderator and panelists for a group photo on the stage. Allow me to guide in 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. Please return to your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you that we still have one session with the team navigating the archipelago, strengthening maritime and air connectivity. But before we close, we would like to invite you to stay with us for a very important moment. We are honored to officially launch a landmark event that will continue this conversation on a much larger stage, the Indonesia International Transport Summit 2025. Please welcome Mr. Yoga Adewinarto, Secretary General of ITS Indonesia, to deliver the opening remarks and officially launch the Indonesia International Transport Summit 2025.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Can I have a very quick of your time? So allow me to introduce the Indonesia International Transport Summit. This is an event that will be held in November 2025 in cooperation also with the Kemenkoinfra. So Indonesia International Transport Summit, or IITS, is the global summit to gather and also to exhibit and also a conference from all the ITS communities around the world, so in the intelligent transport system. And we would like to invite you all to join, to be speakers, and also to be the participant, and also if you have a business to do the business matching and the event. So the event will be held in 27 and 28 November. And if you can check the website, the iits.id, all the information will be there. So I thank everyone, and also thank Kemenkoinfra for giving us the chance to launch. And I'll be waiting for you at the event in November. So thank you very much.
equitable distribution of beneficial infrastructure for the entire country and build a bright future for our civilization. Our flagship infrastructure works from bridges, buildings, dams, and sustainable toll road infrastructures, showcasing our high commitment to protecting nature and the environment. We believe that our every step will shape our future, ensuring a developed future Indonesia. Utama Karya, innovation for solution.
Impian untuk hidup yang lebih berwarna, lebih dekat, lebih berarti. Karena rumah bukan sekadar bangunan, tapi sebuah benih untuk masa depan. Ini visi kami untuk menjadi pengembang pemukiman dan perumahan rakyat terpercaya di Indonesia. Bersama sejumlah lembaga terkemuka, Perumnas menyatukan impian dan menurun harapan kepemilikan rumah bagi setiap anak negeri. Dalam kebersamaan, kita menciptakan dunia bagi benih muda untuk tumbuh, belajar, dan berkembang. Perumnas, sebuah simfoni mimpi di mana setiap sekatnya membawa benih harapan akan masa depan yang lebih cerah. Bersama, kita bisa mewujudkan impian di tanah air tercinta.
For more than 7 decades, PLN has carried out the state's mandate to electrify the whole Indonesian archipelago. With an installed power generation capacity of more than 75 gigawatts, PLN serves more than 90 million customers, in sharpening its vision as the leading electricity company in Southeast Asia. And as the #1 customer choice for energy solutions, PLN continues to develop programs on an ongoing basis, strengthening its role as the heart of Indonesia for the sustainability of energy supply and the transition to renewable energy. Now, PLN is entering a new chapter in its transformation, aiming to become not just a power and utility company, but also a technology company based on innovations. All of this is to improve service quality, strengthening the domestic industrial ecosystem, and increasing competitiveness in the global stage. The new PLN 4.0, unleashing energy and beyond.
Ini cerita akselerasi kita, yang selalu aja ada tantangan pas kita lagi melesat.
Berat banget ya.
Mau nyerah aja, enggak kan?
No lah, big no.
Bagus, ini waktunya akselerasi. Makin banyak tantangan, makin banyak jalan. Ya nggak sih?
Yoi!
Asal...
Niat!
Nah, gitu. Kalau mau berakselerasi itu, harus rame-rame.
Serame ini?
Yes! Mantap!
Menyala bangku!
Yeah! Gak cuma sekedar wujudin mimpi, tapi ciptain inovasi. Semangat akselerasi ngedorong kita untuk terus berkolaborasi, biar ngasih impact positif buat bangsa Indonesia. Ayo, wujudin swasembada energi dengan terus berakselerasi tanpa henti. Pertamina, energizing the acceleration, energizing you.
Perubahan pasti terjadi. Tak bisa dihindari, taklukkan semua ambisi. Berjalan seiring perubahan, jelajahi semua kemajuan zaman. Tunjukkan pada dunia, kita mampu berelevasi jadi bangsa yang luar biasa.
Tumbuh kembang kami juga memberikan makna dan arti. Betapa pentingnya peran kami yang tak pernah lepas dalam hadirkan konektivitas. Karena kami yakin yakin dan mampu untuk terus lewati batas dan merajut konektivitas. Indonesia.
Indonesia, a land of natural beauty and cultural diversity. The Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises has initiated a breakthrough by synergizing all state-owned enterprises in tourism through the Indonesia Journey, or InJourney. From airport and cargo services, tourist destination development, heritage and attraction management, hotels, retail management, to international events and our creative industries.
Kami percaya bahwa setiap hasil yang kami ciptakan adalah komitmen dari tanggung jawab kami menjawab perubahan. Perubahan menuju masa depan yang lebih baik, menciptakan mimpi menjadi kenyataan, mimpi bagi banyak orang, dan memberikan solusi untuk kemudahan. Kami merupakan manufaktur kereta api yang terintegrasi pertama di Asia Tenggara. Fokus kami adalah menghasilkan produk yang berkualitas tinggi di bidang perkeretaapian. Kami adalah mitra untuk membangun masa depan. Kami terus menatap ke depan untuk terus berinovasi, mengembangkan visi besar, membangun industri transportasi yang lebih baik.
When convenience is out of reach, only limitations remain. Constrained business navigation limits the potential growth. In business, flexibility is everything. It's time to unleash your business potential beyond limitation. BNI Direct is here to provide solutions. One unified digital platform with a diverse financial solutions to elevate your business to a whole new level. BNI Direct, directing your business to new heights.
Indonesia is the world's largest island country, consisting of over 17,000 islands. This would be a special agency to manage and guarantee the availability of land, to control the land, to manage the land use for economic development, including for public infrastructure, housing, investment, and agrarian reform. Land Bank Authority is a special agency or sui generis entity established by the central government in December 31st, 2021, given special authority to manage land.
Latar belakang berdirinya Badan Bank Tanah karena adanya ketidakseimbangan yang besar antara permintaan dan persediaan tanah, sehingga perlunya peran pemerintah untuk menguasai, mengendalikan, dan menyediakan tanah bagi pembangunan dan pemerataan ekonomi.
In line with responsibilities given by the Indonesian President and Land Bank Committee of 3 ministers, Land Bank Authority has a vision and mission to be a catalyst for Indonesian economic growth. Land Bank Authority vision is to become a trustworthy land manager based on good governance to guarantee economic growth and economic equality. Land Bank Authority mission is to carry out various efforts related to land bank operational for public interest, social interest, national development interest, economic equality, land consolidation, and agrarian reforms, as well as improving community welfare to provide employment. Land Bank Authority is given special authority by the central government to following functions, specifically planning, land acquisition, land procurement, land management, land utilization, and land distribution.
Harapan Badan Bank Tanah yaitu menjadi lembaga yang terpercaya dalam rangka menciptakan ekonomi berkeadilan di bidang pertanahan untuk meningkatkan kesejahteraan rakyat.
With the responsibilities given to Land Bank Authority, we are confident we can increase the economic growth and justice for Indonesian citizens.
We, Hutama Karya, present our innovations in the construction industry with every changing era. Supported by the professionals in their fields, the latest construction technology operation techniques. we commit to generate best outcomes, aiming to deliver an equitable distribution of beneficial infrastructure for the entire country and build a bright future for our civilization. Our flagship infrastructure works from bridges, buildings, dams, and sustainable toll road infrastructures, showcasing our high commitment to protecting nature and the environment. We believe that our every step will shape our future, ensuring a developed future Indonesia. Hutama Karya, innovation for solution.
Impian untuk hidup yang lebih berwarna, lebih dekat, lebih berarti. Karena rumah bukan sekadar bangunan, tapi sebuah benih untuk masa depan. Ini visi kami untuk menjadi pengembang pemukiman dan perumahan rakyat terpercaya di Indonesia. Bersama sejumlah lembaga terkemuka, Perumnas menyatukan impian dan menenun harapan kepemilikan rumah bagi setiap anak negeri. Dalam kebersamaan, kita menciptakan dunia bagi benih muda untuk tumbuh, belajar, dan berkembang. Perumnas, sebuah simfoni mimpi di mana setiap sekatnya membawa benih harapan akan masa depan yang lebih cerah. Bersama, kita bisa mewujudkan impian di tanah air tercinta.
For more than 7 decades, PLN has carried out the state's mandate to electrify the whole Indonesian archipelago. With an installed power generation capacity of more than 75 gigawatts, PLN serves more than 90 million customers in sharpening its vision as the leading electricity company in Southeast Asia. And as the #1 customer choice for energy solutions, PLN continues to develop programs on an ongoing basis, strengthening its role as the heart of Indonesia for the sustainability of energy supply and the transition to renewable energy. Now, PLN is entering a new chapter in its transformation, aiming to become not just a power and utility company, but also a technology company based on innovations. All of this is to improve service quality, strengthening the domestic industrial ecosystem, and increasing competitiveness in the global stage. The new PLN 4.0, unleashing energy and beyond.
Ini cerita akselerasi kita, yang selalu aja ada tantangan pas kita lagi melesat.
Berat banget ya.
Mau nyerah aja, enggak kan?
No lah, big no.
Bagus, ini waktunya akselerasi. Makin banyak tantangan, makin banyak jalan, ya nggak sih?
Yoi!
Asal...
Niat!
Nah, gitu. Kalau mau berakselerasi itu harus rame-rame.
Serame ini?
Yes! Mantap!
Menyala bangku!
Yeah! Gak cuma sekedar wujudin mimpi, tapi ciptain inovasi. Semangat akselerasi ngedorong kita untuk terus berkolaborasi, biar ngasih impact positif buat bangsa Indonesia. Ayo, wujudin swasembada energi dengan terus berakselerasi tanpa henti. Pertamina, energizing the acceleration, energizing you.
Perubahan pasti terjadi. Tak bisa dihindari, taklukkan semua ambisi. Berjalan seiring perubahan, jelajahi semua kemajuan zaman. Tunjukkan pada dunia, kita mampu berelevasi jadi bangsa yang luar biasa.
Tumbuh kembang kami juga memberikan makna dan arti. Betapa pentingnya peran kami yang tak pernah lepas dalam hadirkan konektivitas. yakin dan mampu untuk terus lewati batas dan merajut konektivitas. Indonesia.
Indonesia, a land of natural beauty and cultural diversity. The Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises has initiated a breakthrough by synergizing all state-owned enterprises in tourism through the Indonesia Journey, or InJourney. From airport and cargo services, tourist destination development, heritage and attraction management, hotels, retail management, to international events and our creative industries.
Kami percaya bahwa setiap hasil yang kami ciptakan adalah komitmen dari tanggung jawab kami menjawab perubahan. Perubahan menuju masa depan yang lebih baik, menciptakan mimpi menjadi kenyataan, mimpi bagi banyak orang dan memberikan solusi untuk kemudahan. Kami merupakan manufaktur kereta api yang terintegrasi pertama di Asia Tenggara. Fokus kami adalah menghasilkan produk yang berkualitas tinggi di bidang perkeretaapian. Kami adalah mitra untuk membangun masa depan. Kami terus menatap ke depan untuk terus berinovasi, mengembangkan visi besar, membangun industri transportasi yang lebih baik.
When convenience is out of reach, only limitations remain. Constrained business navigation limits the potential growth. In business, flexibility is everything. It's time to unleash your business potential beyond limitation. BNI Direct is here to provide solutions. One unified digital platform with a diverse financial solutions to elevate your business to a whole new level. BNI Direct, directing your business to new heights.
Indonesia is the world's largest island country, consisting of over 17,000 islands. This would be a special agency to manage and guarantee the availability of land, to control the land, to manage the land use for economic development, including for public infrastructure, housing, investment, and agrarian reform. Land Bank Authority is a special agency or sui generis entity established by the central government in December 31st, 2021, given special authority to manage land.
Latar belakang berdirinya Badan Bank Tanah karena adanya ketidakseimbangan yang besar antara permintaan dan persediaan tanah, sehingga perlunya peran pemerintah untuk menguasai, mengendalikan, dan menyediakan tanah bagi pembangunan dan pemerataan ekonomi.
In line with responsibilities given by the Indonesian President and Land Bank Committee of 3 ministers, Land Bank Authority has a vision and mission to be a catalyst for Indonesian economic growth. Land Bank Authority vision is to become a trustworthy land manager based on good governance to guarantee economic growth and economic equality. Land Bank Authority mission is to carry out various efforts related to land bank operational for public interest, social interest, national development interest, economic equality, land consolidation, and agrarian reforms, as well as improving community welfare to provide employment. Land Bank Authority is given special authority by the central government to following functions, specifically planning, land acquisition, land procurement, land management, land utilization, and land distribution.
Harapan Badan Bank Tanah yaitu menjadi lembaga yang terpercaya dalam rangka menciptakan ekonomi berkeadilan di bidang pertanahan untuk meningkatkan kesejahteraan rakyat.
With the responsibilities given to Land Bank Authority, we are confident we can increase the economic growth and justice for Indonesian citizens.
We, Hutama Karya, present our innovations in the construction industry with every changing era. Supported by the professionals in their fields, the latest construction technology operation techniques. we commit to generate best outcomes, aiming to deliver an equitable distribution of beneficial infrastructure for the entire country and build a bright future for our civilization. Our flagship infrastructure works from bridges, buildings, dams, and sustainable toll road infrastructures, showcasing our high commitment to protecting nature and the environment. We believe that our every step will shape our future, ensuring a developed future Indonesia. Hutama Karya, innovation for solution.
Impian untuk hidup yang lebih berwarna, lebih dekat, lebih berarti. Karena rumah bukan sekadar bangunan, tapi sebuah benih untuk masa depan. Ini visi kami untuk menjadi pengembang pemukiman dan perumahan rakyat terpercaya di Indonesia. Bersama sejumlah lembaga terkemuka, Perumnas menyatukan impian dan menenun harapan kepemilikan rumah bagi setiap anak negeri. Dalam kebersamaan, kita menciptakan dunia bagi benih muda untuk tumbuh, belajar, dan berkembang. Perumnas, sebuah simfoni mimpi di mana setiap sekatnya membawa benih harapan akan masa depan yang lebih cerah. Bersama, kita bisa mewujudkan impian di tanah air tercinta.
For more than 7 decades, PLN has carried out the state's mandate to electrify the whole Indonesian archipelago. With an installed power generation capacity of more than 75 gigawatts, PLN serves more than 90 million customers in sharpening its vision as the leading electricity company in Southeast Asia. And as the #1 customer choice for energy solutions, PLN continues to develop programs on an ongoing basis, strengthening its role as the heart of Indonesia for the sustainability of energy supply and the transition to renewable energy. Now, PLN is entering a new chapter in its transformation, aiming to become not just a power and utility company, but also a technology company based on innovations. All of this is to improve service quality, strengthening the domestic industrial ecosystem, and increasing competitiveness in the global stage. The new PLN 4.0, unleashing energy and beyond.
Ini cerita akselerasi kita yang selalu aja ada tantangan pas kita lagi melesat.
Berat banget ya.
Mau nyerah aja? Enggak kan?
No lah, big no.
Bagus, ini waktunya akselerasi. Makin banyak tantangan, makin banyak jalan. Ya nggak sih?
Yoi!
Asal...
Niat!
Nah gitu. Kalau mau berakselerasi itu harus rame-rame.
Rame ini?
Yes! Mantap!
Menyala bangku!
Yeah! Gak cuma sekedar wujudin mimpi, tapi ciptain inovasi. Semangat akselerasi ngedorong kita untuk terus berkolaborasi, biar ngasih impact positif buat bangsa Indonesia. Ayo, wujudin swasembada energi dengan terus berakselerasi tanpa henti. Pertamina, energizing the acceleration, energizing you.
Perubahan pasti terjadi. Tak bisa dihindari, taklukkan semua ambisi. Berjalan seiring perubahan, jelajahi semua kemajuan zaman. Tunjukkan pada dunia, kita mampu berelevasi jadi bangsa yang luar biasa.
Tumbuh kembang kami juga memberikan makna dan arti. Betapa pentingnya peran kami yang tak pernah lepas dalam hadirkan konektivitas. yakin dan mampu untuk terus lewati batas dan merajut konektivitas. Indonesia.
Indonesia, a land of natural beauty and cultural diversity. The Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises has initiated a breakthrough by synergizing all state-owned enterprises in tourism through the Indonesia Journey, or InJourney. From airport and cargo services, tourist destination development, heritage and attraction management, hotels, retail management, to international events and our creative industries.
Kami percaya bahwa setiap hasil yang kami ciptakan adalah komitmen dari tanggung jawab kami menjawab perubahan. Perubahan menuju masa depan yang lebih baik, menciptakan mimpi menjadi kenyataan, mimpi bagi banyak orang dan memberikan solusi untuk kemudahan. Kami merupakan manufaktur kereta api yang terintegrasi pertama di Asia Tenggara. Fokus kami adalah menghasilkan produk yang berkualitas tinggi di bidang perkeretaapian. Kami adalah mitra untuk membangun masa depan. Kami terus menatap ke depan untuk terus berinovasi, mengembangkan visi besar, membangun industri transportasi yang lebih baik.
When convenience is out of reach, only limitations remain. Constrained business navigation limits the potential growth. In business, flexibility is everything. It's time to unleash your business potential beyond limitation. BNI Direct is here to provide solutions. One unified digital platform with a diverse financial solutions to elevate your business to a whole new level. BNI Direct, directing your business to new heights.
Indonesia is the world's largest island country, consisting of over 17,000 islands. This would be a special agency to manage and guarantee the availability of land, to control the land, to manage the land use for economic development, including for public infrastructure, housing, investment, and agrarian reform. Land Bank Authority is a special agency or sui generis entity established by the central government in December 31st, 2021, given special authority to manage land.
Latar belakang berdirinya Badan Bank Tanah karena adanya ketidakseimbangan yang besar antara permintaan dan persediaan tanah, sehingga perlunya peran pemerintah untuk menguasai, mengendalikan, dan menyediakan tanah bagi pembangunan dan pemerataan ekonomi.
In line with responsibilities given by the Indonesian President and Land Bank Committee of 3 ministers, Land Bank Authority has a vision and mission to be a catalyst for Indonesian economic growth. Land Bank Authority vision is to become a trustworthy land manager based on good governance to guarantee economic growth and economic equality. Land Bank Authority mission is to carry out various efforts related to land bank operational for public interest, social interest, national development interest, economic equality, land consolidation, and agrarian reforms, as well as improving community welfare to provide employment. Land Bank Authority is given special authority by the central government to following functions, specifically planning, land acquisition, land procurement, land management, land utilization, and land distribution.
Harapan Badan Bank Tanah yaitu menjadi lembaga yang terpercaya dalam rangka menciptakan ekonomi berkeadilan di bidang pertanahan untuk meningkatkan kesejahteraan rakyat.
With the responsibilities given to Land Bank Authority, we are confident we can increase the economic growth and justice for Indonesian citizens.
We, Hutama Karya, present our innovations in the construction industry with every changing era. Supported by the professionals in their fields, the latest construction technology operation techniques. we commit to generate best outcomes, aiming to deliver an equitable distribution of beneficial infrastructure for the entire country and build a bright future for our civilization. Our flagship infrastructure works from bridges, buildings, dams, and sustainable toll road infrastructures, showcasing our high commitment to protecting nature and the environment. We believe that our every step will shape our future, ensuring a developed future Indonesia. Hutama Karya, innovation for solution.
Impian untuk hidup yang lebih berwarna, lebih dekat, lebih berarti. Karena rumah bukan sekadar bangunan, tapi sebuah benih untuk masa depan. Ini visi kami untuk menjadi pengembang pemukiman dan perumahan rakyat terpercaya di Indonesia. Bersama sejumlah lembaga terkemuka, Perumnas menyatukan impian dan menenun harapan kepemilikan rumah bagi setiap anak negeri. Dalam kebersamaan, kita menciptakan dunia bagi benih muda untuk tumbuh, belajar, dan berkembang. Perumnas, sebuah simfoni mimpi di mana setiap sekatnya membawa benih harapan akan masa depan yang lebih cerah. Bersama, kita bisa mewujudkan impian di tanah air tercinta.
For more than 7 decades, PLN has carried out the state's mandate to electrify the whole Indonesian archipelago. With an installed power generation capacity of more than 75 gigawatts, PLN serves more than 90 million customers in sharpening its vision as the leading electricity company in Southeast Asia and as the #1 customer choice for energy solutions. PLN continues to develop programs on an ongoing basis, strengthening its role as the heart of Indonesia for the sustainability of energy supply and the transition to renewable energy. Now, PLN is entering a new chapter in its transformation, aiming to become not just a power and utility company, but also a technology company based on innovations. All of this is to improve service quality, strengthening the domestic industrial ecosystem, and increasing competitiveness in the global stage. The new PLN 4.0, unleashing energy and beyond.
Ini cerita akselerasi kita yang selalu aja ada tantangan pas kita lagi melesat.
Berat banget ya.
Mau nyerah aja. Enggak kan?
No lah, big no.
Bagus. Ini waktunya akselerasi. Makin banyak tantangan, makin banyak jalan. Ya nggak sih?
Yoi!
Asal...
Iya!
Nah, gitu. Kalau mau berakselerasi itu harus rame-rame.
Serame ini.
Yes! Mantap!
Menyala bangku!
Yeah! Gak cuma sekedar wujudin mimpi, tapi ciptain inovasi. Semangat akselerasi ngedorong kita untuk terus berkolaborasi, biar ngasih impact positif buat bangsa Indonesia. Ayo, wujudin swasembada energi dengan terus berakselerasi tanpa henti. Pertamina, energizing the acceleration, energizing you.
Perubahan pasti terjadi. Tak bisa dihindari, taklukkan semua ambisi. Berjalan seiring perubahan, jelajahi semua kemajuan zaman. Tunjukkan pada dunia, kita mampu berelevasi jadi bangsa yang luar biasa.
Tumbuh kembang kami juga memberikan makna dan arti. Betapa pentingnya peran kami yang tak pernah lepas dalam hadirkan konektivitas. yakin dan mampu untuk terus lewati batas dan merajut konektivitas. Indonesia.
Indonesia, a land of natural beauty and cultural diversity. The Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises has initiated a breakthrough by synergizing all state-owned enterprises in tourism through the Indonesia Journey, or InJourney. From airport and cargo services, tourist destination development, heritage and attraction management, hotels, retail management, to international events and our creative industries.
Welcome to the thematic session of the International Conference on Infrastructure. Please enter Merak Room 2 and be seated because our event will begin shortly. A gentle reminder to please ensure that all mobile devices are switched to silent mode. Thank you. Once again, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please enter the ballroom because the thematic session is about to begin. Please be seated. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Salve, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Welcome to the thematic session of International Conference on Infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next program with the theme Navigating the Archipelago, Strengthening Maritime and Air Connectivity. In this session, will be moderated by Adrian Dimitri, Managing Director and Partner at Boston Consulting Group. And the panelists for this session are Budi Mantoro, Director of Sea, Traffic and Transportation, Ministry of Transportation. Budi Kresna, Director of Airport, Ministry of Transportation. Ferry Kusnowo, Director Strategic and Development of Angkasa Pura. Darman Syah Tanamas, Sekretari Indonesian National Ship Owners Association. Mukhtaris, Director of Line Operation PT Garuda Maintenance Facility Aero Asia Tbk. Without any further ado, please welcome our moderator, Mr. Adrian Dimitri.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. So, in this section, we will talk about the maritime and also aviation industry. So, as we know that Indonesia is the largest archipelago in the world. We have more than 17,500 islands spread across more than 5,000 kilometers from east to west. And as a nation, we have a bold ambition that we will achieve as the high income status in the 2045. As a consequences that we need to have like a more than 8% economic growth, right? This more than the statistic, right? Because this is the call to action, because no economy can expand at that pace without any proper infrastructure connectivity, right? We need to move people, goods, services quickly and efficiently, right? both in the sea and also in the air. So every year, through the sea and in air, we transport more than 2.2 billion tons of cargo, more than 20 million TEUs of containers, and then we move more than 100 million people. Right? So you can see the magnitude of this industry is very big, very important. And we know that in the past decades, our government has launched a lot of initiatives, right, to connect, to knit our islands. A lot of penerbangan perintis, pelayaran perintis, tol laut, right? But the challenge still remains, right? If you look at our logistic costs, it's still 40% of the GDP, one of the highest in Southeast Asia, right? And our logistic performance index, according to World Bank's 2023, still in the number 63 out of 139 economies. So we are still in the middle, right? So, so connectivity is not only about social lifeline. It's also the economic catalyst, right? Downstreaming in the nickel industry, for example, has lifted, the export value from $1.4 billion in 2020 up to more than 40 billion last year. So you can see that it's almost 40-fold. It's about the downstreaming. But there is a but. The smelter in Sulawesi, in Halmahera, requires efficient sea and air transport to stay competitive. Right? We still need to continue to fix that. At the same time, the transport sector is beginning its green transition. Some countries, they have developed their green airport, green seaports, right? And then some of the airlines, shipping lines, is also show their commitment to using the green fuel. So our commitment today is very clear. How we build maritime and aviation ecosystem that move people's goods, ideas quickly, efficiently, powers the industrial corridors, and meets our climate commitments, all at once, together. So to explore that, we have this very outstanding speaker with us from government, from the private sectors, from SME. So let's navigate our archipelago together. So for this, I will invite first Pak Budi Mantoro. Captain Budi Mantoro is the Director of Navigation at Indonesia Ministry of Transportation. Please welcome. The second speaker is Pak Budi Kresna. Pak Budi Kresna is Director of Airports, Ministry of Transport. He leads the airport policy formulation to ensure that with the alignment with the national aviation objective. Welcome back. The third speaker, Pak Ferry Kusnowo. Pak Ferry is the Director of Strategy and IT Development in Injourney Airports. Next speaker, I will invite Pak Mukhtaris. Pak Mukhtaris is Director of Line Operation at GMF Aero Asia. And I will invite Pak Darmansyah Tanamas. Pak Darmansyah is the Secretary General of Indonesia National Ship Owner Association, INSA. So thank you for Bapak sekalian for the opportunity. So as we talk about the maritime and aviation sectors, right? This is two sectors that are very important to connect all of the Indonesian. So maybe today we're going to talk about one is how the maritime and air connectivity will accelerate the economic growth in Indonesia. And then what are the challenges and the major barriers for us in the industry? And then how the private sectors, the SOE and also the government can collaborate together, because this is very big industry and then very complex industry that we need to work together to build it. Maybe the first question to Pak Budi Kresna. Pak, in the Ministry of the Transportation, right, what are the key strategies to enhance the aviation access and affordability, especially in the underserved regions? If you talk about the Indonesia in the East region, right, because it's very spread out. So what are the key strategy from the Ministry of Transport to ensure that we have a more affordable and then more connected in this region, Pak? Silakan, Pak.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat good afternoon. Yeah. The question is what are the key strategy to enhance aviation access and affordability? Yes, the first we have DGCA, Directorate General of Civil Aviation, have some program to enhance access and affordability. The first is air break program atau jembatan udara ya. Designed to lower the price disparity of the basic good between developed and remote area by providing subsidized regular cargo. The initiative has proven effective with commodity price dropping by 30 to 70%. It's good and will be continuous. And the second strategy about pioneer passenger and cargo routes. In 2025, 266 pioneer passenger route. There's 266 route for the passenger, and for the cargo 47 air bridge. This is a priority to ensure essential connectivity for the logistic support for the remote and unserviced areas, very especially for the remote area. Some of the airport in the Papua, there is many remote area, so we call it the airport is airstrip. Yeah. And then the third, we have a program to technical support for the airport. Operational and maintenance support is intended to 154 airports. So we manage around 154 airports, ensuring continuity of services in region that may not be financially self-sustaining. So we support for the 144 airport. And then the fourth, developing of the border and strategic airport. Investment is focused on the remote area with the airport such as airport in the small island. For example, as Pauwatu, is in the Gorontalo province, and then Bangka Laut Island, Bangka Island, there's a small airport. As well, we facilitate like airport for the Komodo airport to stimulate regional tourism and promote inclusion in the national air transport network. This is our program and strategy.
Yeah, thank you, Pak. So if I may recall back, so the first one is about the jembatan udara, Pak. Yeah? So
yes,
make sure.
Jembatan udara.
Yeah, so the ensure the price is also stabilized on that one. And then we have like a lot of pioneer and cargo route, right, for passenger and also for cargo, and also supporting like the airports, not only the investment but also the operational and the cost for the area in the border area.
Priority for the small airport,
Small airport. Okay, thank you, Pak. So maybe I will go to Pak Ferry. Pak Ferry, I mean that as a port operator, right? So, I mean that hearing from Pak Budi is about the, provide the affordable and then accessible air connection in this unserved region on the east, right? So what is the role of the InJourney or overall strategy for InJourney in that area, in the development of the airport infrastructure, especially on the underserved regions?
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Thank you, Pak Demi, for the questions. As part of InJourney Airports or PT Angkasa Pura Indonesia, definitely the air connectivities of across the archipelago of Indonesia is our main concerns and our commitment to ensure that we provide the right supports and provide the best customer experience for all of our passengers that flew through our airports. If we are just talking about how do we be part of this development, it is our great pride to ensure that we become the world-class airport, to be the face of our country, the face of Indonesia. But at the same time, we are also the agent of development. I think this is where it connects to your questions, like what do we do as part of the agent of development in creating the right air connectivity across Indonesia. So in the eastern part of the Indonesia, we, as part of our vision and missions to create this air connectivity, we know that we built airport, especially our Makassar airport, as well as Denpasar in Bali, to be the gateway for the eastern part of Indonesia. And with our strategy of creating the hub and spoke, our main airport, such as Manado, Ambon, those are the ones that will cater from what Pak Budi mentions about all of this pioneer perintis, right? All of those flights that get into our airports, like in Ambon, in Manado, and then they will then connect to the larger airports, whether that's in Makassar or in Bali, to continue for the other part of Indonesia or for the internationals. So if we look at where are all of our developments, the development is we want to ensure that not just the customer experience, but also our premises, our world-class premises, our processes, the experience, the journey experience, as well as the people, our people that serve the customers are all at the world-class. And of course, with the right technology, we want that technology to be the base, the platform for all of our developments in the future. So if I can just summarize it, it makes our customer experience to be the focus, but we also want to ensure the journey is right with the right processes and the right technology. That's where we are today.
So thanks, Pak Ferry. So it's not only about the infrastructure, but also the business model. Like you're saying, it's about the business, about the hub and spoke model, and also about the customer experience as well, right? That's really to serve the eastern part of the Indonesia. In the air connectivity, other than the infrastructures in the airport, right? The fleet, the airplane is also is very important, right? So here we have Mukhtar as part of GMF. So looking at now, because you work as in the maintenance facility, ensure that our flight is safe, right? So so far, what are the initiatives that GMF doing in order to upgrade the facility, the capability, and the capacity of the GMF to serve the demand in Indonesia?
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. So, what we do in GMF, so we in GMF, we are accelerating digitalization actually by automating the maintenance record, workflow process, inventory, material management. So we do we do as much as we can to digitalize this process. Although we understand, we realize that aviation is highly regulated industry. There is some regulation we cannot against on because, well, that's regulation. But we do what we can to automation all this process. For instance, in GMF, we have what we call in-house tools, IT tools, Xprim. So Xprim, we call it Xprim. Xprim, we use this to real-time tracking all the maintenance process, material, man-hour, which will enable us to make a better decision and faster decision in maintenance process. Because we are not an IT company, but we use IT to accelerate all of this so we can deliver a good service to airline, of course. Reducing ground time because airline, they don't like if the aircraft on ground for maintenance. They want to fly aircraft. If they can, they want to fly 24 hours to make money, of course. But maintenance is something need to be done. So we, in GMF, we support them to reduce this ground time by digitalize. We improve our capability as well. We know that more newer generation aircraft will do for maintenance, like A350, 787. So we improve our capability so that in the next 1-2 years, we can do heavy maintenance in our facility in Cengkareng at this moment. I think that's what we do at this moment.
Yeah, thanks for Dr. Maybe just a little bit follow-up question on that one, Pak. So if you can elaborate more, right? I mean, that's looking at the, our nation is we have a lot of islands, right? And then, of course, to connect this, air connectivity is very important. And then we heard a lot of penerbangan perintis, right? In the east, right? The type of fleet is also different, right? The type of airplane is also different. So in terms of the maintenance facility, right? Whether it's only focusing on the west part of Indonesia, or there is also capacity that we have in the eastern part of Indonesia?
At this moment, our facility is only in Jakarta, our biggest hangar facility. We are trying to develop Kertajati. It was on the news, I think, a couple of weeks ago. So Kertajati Aerospace Park. Hopefully, we can become one of the leading in aviation industry. Compared to the region, Singapore, Malaysia, they already become one of the leading. So we want to be one of the leading as well. But in the east side of Indonesia, we have some engineer across all this country to do technical handling. It's just like maintenance, but to do heavy maintenance, we bring the aircraft to Jakarta. Yeah, I think there is an opportunity if we can collaborate with Pak Ferry, the airport, and also government. Yeah, if the market is there, why not? Yeah.
Thank you, Pak. So now we talked about the maritime sector, right? And then we can go back again to the aviation industry later on. So to Pak Budi, Pak, maybe the same question with Pak Budi Kresna. We have two Pak Budi here. So what are the ministry priorities to improving the inter-island maritime infrastructure and also the shipping efficiency, Pak?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Demiti. Before answer your question, allow me introduce myself. My name is Budi Mantoro. Currently serves as Director of Sea Traffic and Transportation in DGST, Minister of Transportation. And under 4 years participated prestige of the international conference infrastructure. Okay, Indonesia, the largest archipelago country in the world with more than 70. We discussed with Pusitros last month. Now we calculated about 70 x 9000 reach 16 island. in Indonesia. Indonesia give big priority to improving the maritime connectivity between islands. This is essential to support for development and to make sure all regions, including outer border and remote area, have access to important services. As Indonesia calls 3TP, tertinggal, terpencil, dan terluar, terbatasan. To achieve this, Ministry of focusing in improving the shipping efficiency and enhancing maritime infrastructure through several initiatives. The first, we continue to optimize our program, toll out, toll out program with this backbone our maritime logistics network. Alongside this, we are also enhancing pioneer routes, perintis. Nah, ready ship route and livestock shipping or cattle ship for to carrying cow and slam from East Indonesia. And then all this are supported under the public service obligation scheme to guarantee the regular service to remote area under developed region. As now we operated 39 sea toll out road, 39. For the pioneer, we have 107 pioneer perintis. And then for the public certification from Pelni, 26, and for livestock ship road, 6 vessel for this carrying this cow. Second, the port play of important role is the supporting the national logistics system. The development of port infrastructure is guided by National Port Master Plan, Rencana Induk Pelabuhan Nasional. Based on the National Port Master Plan, there are 636 ports nationwide. This included 28 main ports, 164 collection ports, 166 regional feeder ports, and 278 local feeder ports. From this 102 commercial ports and 534 non-commercial, strategic to support both domestic and international trades. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Pak Budi. So, lot of initiative to ensure that we have a good sea connectivity, right, to the eastern, right, with not only about the seaport but also the fleet itself. The ship also is provided by Kemenkoinfra. And maybe to Pak Darmansyah, as a ship owner, right, INSA, we know that in the maritime sectors we have a lot of challenge, especially to the east. Is about the imbalance cargo, right? 80% is our cargo is from west to east, right? But and the backhaul is very empty, right? And then also we also have a challenge in terms of the aging fleet as well, and also the some regulation as well that maybe we need to reform. So what do you think that's the most urgent things that we need to do to enhance the domestic shipping capacity going forward?
Thank you, Mas Dimi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Refer to Pak Budi mentioned before, Indonesia is archipelago nation. Yeah, I think this given this geographic reality in Indonesia, maritime transport is the primary mode of transportation to enhance the reliability and capacity of the national shipping sector. It is essential to establish a business environment that is efficient, effective, and highly competitive, alongside improving the quality of domestic maritime transport through policy reform and accelerated the development of supporting infrastructure for the maritime industry. From INSA perspective, the most urgent regulatory and infrastructure reform include strengthening governance and legal certainty in the maritime sector, synchronizing and harmonizing laws and their implementing regulation across ministries and agencies to avoid overlapping authority and conflict of interest, which often result in high economic costs. Example, Undang-Undang 17 2008 is a shipping business, shipping pelayaran, versus Undang-Undang nomor 32 tahun 2014 mengenai kelautan, di mana especially concern the safety and security of commercial shipping. Second, Undang-Undang 17 mengenai pelayaran versus Undang-Undang 13 2003 mengenai tenaga kerja, pekerja laut. Next, strengthening the cabotage principle. The implementation of the cabotage principle since 2005 has positively impact the growth of the shipping industry, which grew by 5.9%, exceed the national economic growth rate of 4.6% between 2011 and 2023. Beyond quantity, quality enhancement of national maritime transport is required through several policy measures. Tax incentive, exemption of VAT on fuel and port services, review of ship classification as a tax object for the PBBKB. PBKB is a motor vehicle fuel tax. We are in the shipping business, but I don't know. We must be paid the motor vehicle tax. Currently at the 7.5 to 11%. And review of regulation, PMK, Peraturan Menteri Keuangan 234, concern land and building tax atau PBB for floating storage vessels. FSO, FPSO, FSRU, type of the vessel. Why vessel must be paid the PBB? And presidential regulation for financing fleet, renewal and the procurement of new commercial vessels with competitive interest rates and long tenors. Recognition of the shipping industry as infrastructure, enabling it to receive fiscal incentive on par with other infrastructure sectors. Next, equitable port infrastructure development. While major ports continue to develop port facility in remote area, remain underdeveloped. An effective approach would be implementing a multi-hub and spoke system across Indonesia, particularly in frontier, othermost, and underdeveloped region. Pak Budi mentioned before, 3TP itu Pak ya. Along with significant investment in strategic port loading and unloading infrastructure. Number 2, procurement of efficient feeder vessels and synchronization between government developed routes and routes served by private sector. This will significantly enhance connectivity and logistic efficiency, contributing to more equitable economic growth and sustainable development nationwide. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Darmas. I think it's quite comprehensive, right? I mean, that's the question is about the most urgent thing, but we get the full list of the things that we need to reform, right? Thank you, Pak. I think that's very important because if we look at the growth engine for our economic for the next 20 years, right? Because Indonesia is like mostly based on the commodities, right? And then most of the commodity, if we talk about the mining and also the agriculture, in the next 20 years will come from the eastern part of Indonesia, right? So we can imagine that a lot of bulk cargo in the mining and minerals and also agriculture, right, will be there. So a lot of regulation to ensure that we have healthy and fair regulation that to increase our competitiveness and also capacity in terms of the shipping is very important on that one. Thank you, Pak. So now we already talked about the connectivity and also about the affordability of the maritime and aviation. So maybe we need to switch gear a little bit about how we modernize the infrastructure. Maybe the first question go to Pak Budi again, Pak Budi Kresna. So how is the airport infrastructure being expanded, right, modernized to support regional connectivity and national growth target? Right? Before you mentioned that there are a couple of initiatives from the Ministry of Transport to the area 3TP, right? So now is like, what are the initiative from the Ministry of Transport to modernize those facilities, right? Maybe not only in the area 3TP, but maybe on in the airport infrastructure in general, Pak.
As DGCA, Direktorat Jenderal Perhubungan Darat, Direktorat Jenderal Civil Aviation, DGCA, has a 3 agenda, yeah, for the expanding and modernize to support regional connectivity and national growth target. Yeah. The first is a new and upgrade airport. The second is key expansion the project. And the third, air navigation modernization. For the first, new and upgrade airport. Yeah. Since 2015, 27 new airport has been built. And 64 existing airport have been rehabilitated, a dominant from the managed by Angkasa Pura Indonesia. We call beautification. In 2024, 6 new airport become operational, increasing the total of the airport in Indonesia to 257 airport. that some airport is from the private, yeah, like in Batam, cooperation between Angkasa Pura and Incheon, and then Medan, Angkasa Pura with CMR, yes, and then the Angkasa Pura Indonesia managed 35 airport, and DGCA managed 186 airport, Angkasa Pura Indonesia Batam 1 airport, Angkasa Pura Aviasi 1, local government 17, and private entity 17, so the total of 257 airport. The second recent key expansion of the project, yeah, for the modernization. The first is Nusantara Airport in become the new capital of Indonesia. Yeah. Right now is around 93% that is complete. And then the second for the Soekarno-Hatta Airport terminal upgrade, including a new terminal for the Hajj and Umroh. And then the third, Ngurah Rai Airport, terminal beautification, yeah, and expanded the corridor and improve the facility. And then the third for the air navigation modernization. Implementation fair agreement between Indonesia and neighboring country from Singapore, Australia, and etc. And implementation radar and is in navigation ADSB surveillance, particularly in Papua. Yes, because the Papua is specific contour, yeah. There is a mountain, so the ADSB is better for the navigation. And also the free road airspace concept. This is my agenda for the modernization and expand the airport. Thank you.
So actually the plan is there, right? It's quite comprehensive, not only about the physicals, about the software as well, about the technology, about digital as well. So maybe to Pak Ferry, Pak, as the airport operators, right, I'm sure that a lot of digital initiative that's already ongoing in place, right, in journey. If you can elaborate what you are doing now in journey, right, and then what is the plan going forward in the implement the digital in the airport?
Yeah, I think we cannot separate our life with all of these digitalizations that are happening around us, and exactly the same what happened within our airport. I think Pak Budi mentions there are many modernizations activities that are happening within the Angkasa Pura or Engineering Airport's facilities right now. The beautifications is what we are putting together to ensure that the customer experience, the journey is getting better. I think I talked about that earlier, about the customer experience. But at the same time, there are many activities that we do behind the scene. It's part of that missions that, yes, the premises is getting better. The experience of our customers, they're passing through our airports getting better. But the processes and the people, that's actually involved heavily through that experience with technology, digitalizations. One of the experience that we are introducing soon is the biometrics, the face recognitions. We have so many our gadgets, our devices, our face recognition able. Why don't we do that for our journey experience through airports? We are working together with Pak Budi, with the Kementerian Perhubungan, with Kementerian Immigrations, to introduce this experience, this technology. So now the customers, the passengers who are passing through our airport soon would be introduced in one of our terminals, especially for the Umrah and the Hajj. You just pass through. Once you check in with your documents, your face is going to be your boarding pass. You basically just pass through that whole processes just with your face. And up until the whole boarding experience is just going to be a face recognition. So that's just one. But then there's so many other technology initiatives that we do to improve the processes. We introduce IoT, all of this sensors, technology, AI-based CCTV data that we capture to improve the experience from the drop-off. We now know how many cars, how long that you wait, what do we need to do to improve that journey with the CCTV that I can analyze that. How long is the queue during your check-in process? How long is the wait during security check-in? All of those informations are captured through our CCTV and analyzed through artificial intelligence to improve the experience. All of this modernization is done because we know the customer experience, the journey of our passengers, whether you are Indonesians or all of the tourists coming to the country, we want that to be seamless, that journey to be seamless. And then I think one other technology that we have to understand is the work together as an ecosystem to operate our aviation business. Our airport is not just a single entity, but we actually have multiple stakeholders within that business. We have the air navigations, we have the airlines, the ground handlers, the customs, the immigrations, and all other stakeholders. We got to work together as an integrated system, integrated ecosystem. That means data, technology, all of this has to be interconnected. How do we work together with the regulation, the regulators, to create a very conducive regulations so all of us can work together as an ecosystem? I think it's very important to understand that the business of airport aviation is not just a single entity, but a work of ecosystem together to create this seamless process, seamless technology way that we can all work together. I think we are excited to see a lot of these collaborations from all of the stakeholders to start understanding that yes, the culture has to improve, the way of working has to improve, and support these ecosystems to be more comprehensive and more collaborative.
Yeah, very exciting, Pak, to hear that there's going to be major improvement in our airports. I know that's not an easy thing. It's very complex, balancing between the customer experience and also the safety, right? And a lot of stakeholders that you mentioned, right? This need to be collaborative effort, right? It's very exciting to look at how this improve going forward. So maybe for the kind of the interest of the time, maybe we just move to the maritime. Maybe to Pak Budi Mantoro, Pak. So in the maritime, we also have a lot of infrastructure, right? Especially, for example, in port, right? What are the key programs that Ministry of Transport have in order to modernize our facilities, right? Including the digitalization and then safety improvement and also to improve the port performance.
Okay. We believe that modernization is the backbone of the maritime transportation and transformation, not only to improve efficiency, but also to ensure safety, transparency, and competitiveness. As DGST has 16 informasi, emotion, and then Inapotnet, and then Simlala, and Simkapel for this directorate for this monitoring. For the safety improvement, we monitoring of vessel transit proceeding from Sabang to Pontianak, and then vessel proceeding from Alki number 1 and number 2, number 3 for the monitoring our MCC Maritime Coordination Center. In the term of digitalization, we have developed INA Podnet, an integrated electronic port services system that serve a single window for vessel clearance and other port-related activities. The system standardizes and digitizes port processes. INA Podnet was introduced a major port in 2016 and has gradually expanded. As of 2024, the system has been implemented to 2,400 port, including smaller port and no including additional module for non-texted revenue services such as transshipment and mooring services. To further enhance digital integrated circular number 2 of 2024 issued by the Directorate General of Sea Transportation, request of the implementation full cycle carrier single submission SSM pengangkut and domestic manifest information system DMSS. In addition to enhance the monitoring of the sea traffic with navigation through Indonesia water, the Directorate of Sea Transportation also developed a system, Indonesia Integrated Monitoring System of Navigation. The call is emotion, not emosi, not emosi. With integrating all related navigating data, including IS, CCTV, radar, weather sensor, and others, for collected for this all vessel traffic services at Indonesia. As Indonesia has 23 VTS, then 165 coast radio station. We collect data and then to receive by emotion in Jakarta. Inland with the effort, the ship activity has steadily increased over the years. In 2024, there were total 1,448,233 ship call across Indonesia port. Our data from vessel proceeding to Malacca Strait and Singapore Strait every day reach 2,000 vessel. Yeah, to traffic. For domestic road, for vessel with barge type, while for international load, then traffic was dominated by container ship. This Indonesia to check and monitoring vessel for ensure the safety, security, and prevention of pollution.
Thank you, Pak Budi. So there are so many system modernization, Pak, and then also data transparency across the infrastructure and also in the fleet. Maybe I will go to Pak Darmansa. From the INSA perspective, Pak, how do you see that national shipping companies to remain competitive, right? Looking at the current situations about the rising the freight costs, increasing demand for the mineral exports going forwards, and then how we can stay more competitive on these sectors.
Okay, since the cabotage principle enforced 2005 was intended in the part to empower the national shipping industry and protect it from the volatility of global shipping market. This is cabotage principle. Today, domestic freight and passengers transport need within Indonesian area can be met by shipping Indonesian flag. Consequently, while global shipping rate may fluctuate, shipping costs across Indonesian area remain relatively stable, and independent. However, to remain competitive and responsive to the rising demand for mineral export, like coal, nickel, CPO, several priorities must be addressed to the simplification of export license and quota system. Regulatory improvement for import-export, particularly for strategic commodities like mineral, are needed to provide shipping companies the certainty required to invest in specialized vessel like tanker, bulk carriers, floating crane. A gradual increase in the mandatory transport capacity for national ships will allow domestic companies to gain a greater share in Indonesian international trade. The government correctly mandate that the coal and palm oil export must be carried by national shipping company. However, regulation number 6565 tahun 2020 by Kementerian Perdagangan reduce the transport capacity requirement for national firms. Gradually, regulatory adjustments are needed to promote CIF, and terms for export, and FOB terms for the import of strategic commodities like coal and palm oil. Other integration with the upstream, downstream ecosystem. National ship owner can remain resilient by offering end-to-end logistic solutions, including mine-site transportation, inventory coordination, and final stage export handling. And next, operational efficiently through digitalization. Cost efficiency can be enhanced through digital logistic chains, including tracking system, electronic manifest, and real-time port scheduling. Indonesia can overcome traditional by investing in smart maritime platforms. Sinap.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, Pak, because with the growing export of mineral going forward, right, and then also the commodity, like I mentioned earlier, right, maybe Pak Budi, there is a titipans about the cabotage. Currently, like if we go for most of the players in Indonesia, when they export the commodity like coal, they do FOB, right? The vessels coming from the international flight, right? So other countries, like they say that if you want to export, go to CIF. That's why the national flag carrier need to transport their minerals domestically to the export market. So maybe there's something that we can learn going forward to on that area. Just to close the loop, I mean, that's we go with the aviation, and then because we only like have 8 minutes, maybe to Pak Budi, Pak, it's about the investment. Pak. The question is about the investment. The last questions. From the ministry perspective, what are the policy or the investment initiative in order to encourage some investment in the air cargo, multimodal logistic, and then aviation link economic activity?
It's a policy, DGCA policy for the promote investment, is to promote aviation-driven economic growth and integrated logistic. The first is air cargo and logistic initiative policy. We have air brigade program, as we mentioned before, for the support for the remote area for the cargo, especially to improve access to essential goods. So we say it is a jembatan udara. And the second, this is a new for the aviation is a national logistic ecosystem. We follow the sea transportation, Mr. Budi. After the sea and then national logistic ecosystem for the aviation. This is a program for the reform initiative has been implemented across a major airport, especially for the Soekarno-Hatta, Kuala Namu, Juanda Surabaya, Denpasar, Makassar, and Balikpapan. Yes, it's a major airport to be implement a national logistic ecosystem. The system is integrated regulator, aviation regulator for DGCA, and then custom bea cukai, quarantine, and airline and also airport. So the system integrated all of the system in the one system to enhance coordination, accelerate clearance process, accelerate this clearance process. So one application for the all. And then the second public-private partnership. This is PPP atau in Indonesia apa ya? KPPU. Kerjasama pemerintah, KPPU kerjasama pemerintah dan badan usaha public private partnership. KPPU seen as critical to bringing investment cap in aviation, especially for the infrastructure, unlocking private capital and technical expertise. And then we have example that implemented PPP at the Kediri Airport. And we also in Singkawang Airport, but still in progress for the Singkawang Airport is use a KPPU program. Singkawang Airport is also developed under the same model for KPPU, and this approach the private sector is responsible for the design, build, finance, operate, maintain and transfer of the airport infrastructure. The third support for national strategy project PSN, program strategi nasional PSN. Support for national strategy project atau program strategis nasional air transport development in Eastern Indonesia is a critical enabler of the broader multimodal integration and regional economic growth, as demonstrated by the implementation of the air navigation services with the radar and ADSB system in Papua to enhance navigation in the eastern of Indonesia. This is my program from the DGA.
All right. Thank you, Pak Budi. Maybe I will go to Pak Mokhtaris, Pak. In terms of we talk about how to increase the capacity of the GMF, the maintenance facility for the aircraft. Right? So, what kind of partnership or government support that you need to help to develop the Indonesia maintenance, repair, overhaul, the MRO infrastructure to be competitive in the region and also in the global?
Okay. So basically Indonesia, we have a potential to become a leading regional aviation hub. But to unlock this potential, it requires a bold partnership and unwavering government commitment. So what we need is, first, we need a robust public-private collaboration. If we may ask, we are hoping the government can take an active role by offering policy incentive, and then strategic land allocation, infrastructure investment in key locations, such as what we have at this moment, Kertajati Aerospace Park. This collaboration will provide the foundation to accelerate the industry growth. And then we also expect the government should solidify its commitment by establishing special industrial zone, as well as couple this with aggressive fiscal incentives such as tax holiday, tax allowance, and exemption on VAT, value added tax. It will help the industry a lot, VAT and import duties. This step will significantly can attract investor outside of Indonesia, and can create a better position for Indonesia as an aviation hub. And then the last one is a strategic partnership between we, MRO, and also OEM. OEM is an original equipment manufacturer, like Airbus, Boeing, General Electric. So if this can be established, so there will be a knowledge transfer, and then technical or technology capabilities transfer, which may impact to our industry as a whole ecosystem. Yeah.
Thank you, Mukhtaris. I know that our time is up. Maybe the last questions to Pak Ferry, Pak. Related to what Pak Budi mentioned is about the investment in the air infrastructures. So how do you balance basically the capacity expansions in the key airports with the sustainability in terms of the business, but also the sustainability commitment, right? Because we need to go with the net zero commitment of the national, we need to upgrade our facility, but in the meantime, we need to invest also to expand the capacity. How you balance this portfolio?
Well, I don't think it's not about balancing anymore. It's more about what is our commitment on the sustainability as engineering airports. So during this process of modernization, so the beautifications, there are programs that have been put in place to make sure that we care about the sustainability, especially around like the utilizations of utility. There are programs right now that has been put in place to ensure that we manage the utilizations of energy, applying like the ISO process, ISO 14001 or 50001, that we implement that in our day-to-day, in our SOPs of maintaining our airports. We also put in place some of the solar panels to counterbalance the usage of the fossil fuels, to put the sustainability around our energy usage. We have implemented that in Jakarta, in Soekarno-Hatta, in Bali, Medan, Padang, Palembang, Banyuwangi, and a couple other airports. But we also understand that there is a need of the commitments, not just in our airports, but also with the airlines. So how do we work together with airlines to ensure that they also start utilizing all of this sustainability? And while we are getting there, we also look at how we work together with airlines to reduce the fossil fuels burn. I think we talk about this with the government, the regulations. If we put a process around ACDM, like airport collaboration decision-making process that can help everybody as a stakeholders to create an efficient way of taxiing and landing that automatically will reduce the fuel burn, that also at the same time create that balancing of the sustainability. I think that's where we are utilizing the new technology, the new way of working to improve the energy efficient, but at the same time also implementing the new way to balance some of this sustainability going forward. I think one thing that I just want to mention, Angkasa Pura Indonesia was awarded at a platinum rating for our airport sustainability reports last year. So that shows our commitment that sustainability is part of our vision and mission as part of the Angkasa Pura Indonesia going forward.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Ferry. That's very interesting to hear that there is so more will come, right, in our airport. So I think we are toward the end of our session. So if I can summarize from our conversations, one is actually in the maritime and in aviation industry, we have made some progress, a lot of progress actually, right, in terms of building the connectivity infrastructure, modernize our facilities, right, and then install all of the digital initiative, right, in our infrastructure. Second, however, there are still some improvement we need to do, right, especially on the regulation, how to encourage this industry to be more developed going forward. And to do that, right, number 3 is basically we need to change our mindset, not just looking at the aviation is one sector, maritime is one sector. We need to look at as a ecosystem, right? Maybe we need to look at the aviation and maritime is one ecosystem that actually, right, because it's still interconnected, right? We can share facilities, we can share in terms of the program as well, because it's about the connectivity, about the moving people, moving goods, right? A lot of integration need to be done on that one. So terima kasih Bapak sekalian atas waktunya. Give applause to our speaker. Thank you. Maybe I'll give it back to the MC.
Thank you so much for the insightful session. I would like to invite the moderator and panelists to the front of the stage for a group photo session. To the camera. Allow me to guide in 3, 2, 1. Once again, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. Please remain to your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up the thematic session in this afternoon, I would like to invite you all to joining us back in the grand ballroom for the plenary area because we all still have an event ongoing. Thank you very much for this evening. See you tomorrow.